You thought this one thing, but
like I felt like I was high. Like, I was just...
Hey, welcome on back to our channel. Nice to have you here. Let's get into our review of Patema Inverted. The story just involves those humans. Why did I say it like that? Like, Patema Inverted was following the story of this girl who is inside of this underground city that is inverted to the upper ground city or above ground level. So we see her dropping down into this tunnel.
She gets like chased, right, to basically the surface. And so she thinks everything's upside down, but actually the boy is like, no, you're on the roof.
And that's where the story really begins. We see that this town is very military-esque, and the one thing they say is never to look inside of the sky, which is weird, right?
Like, how can you not just look?
It's almost kind of like the inverted people are ostracized or looked down upon by the society. They're viewed as sinners.
Get out of here, devil! Out, sin!
So in terms of the characters, the main character inside of the story is basically Patema, the boy that she who ends up like saving her / not saving her. And then there's this like ruler over the town who's very dictatory. That's the best way to say it. In terms of the likability of the characters, Patema she was okay. I don't think there was nothing special about her, but there was nothing that turned me off from her as a character.
I thought she was fine.
Yeah, she was average.
Yeah. She's just average. Like, she was kind of in love with this guy, this like older guy that also went up to the surface, and then he like disappeared.
Wait, you got love? I thought that was her daddy.
No, it wasn't her dad. We thought it was her dad, remember? And then we found out it wasn't her dad.
Right, but I was getting like father figure type of vibes, but you was getting like love.
There was like there was one scene where like she basically was like, it made it seem like she was in love with him. It was very brief, and we all went like, what? Like, I thought that was her dad, and ooh, that's a bit weird.
So if anything inside of this plot has captured your, I guess, mind so far, you should definitely go ahead and watch, but I think we'll get to the spoilers. So definitely click ahead if you just want to know what our final thoughts are for the review. And yeah, let's get to the spoilers. Patema was originally told that her people are the inverted people of the world. They are the sinners. They are the ones who did the experiment. But it turns out the boy and his people, who seem like they're the upright ones, they're actually descendants of the people who did the experiment and ended up being inverted. And it turns out all of them are living in the crust of the earth. So there's no up for either of those. Because what we find is the boy keeps falling so far that he falls out of the earth into the real surface. That's why we was a little confused inside of this. We ain't even gonna lie.
It started getting really confusing. I was like, so there's like an inside and then another inside of the earth, and then there's like something in the sky. Like, I felt like I was high. Like, it was just so confusing.
I don't know if that was the whole, I mean, okay, it was where they were trying to go with the plot to make it like, you thought this one thing, but it's actually this, because they are not in the earth. They are actually in the underground. It was just like, okay, you're doing a bit too much. And I feel like that was kind of like what the whole movie was relying on, that plot twist, because the characters weren't that interesting. The story was not really that like entertaining, compelling, to pull you in. And it's a very forgettable movie. Like, honestly, I saw previews of it and I thought I had already watched the movie, but I didn't.
I feel the same way. Like, I don't remember much of this movie. Trying to figure out what's going on was like what was keeping me awake.
Yeah.
And then when they like show the twist, it's kind of like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like, what?
I'd give the animation of this, like, it was solidly pretty. I
Mhm.
don't think it was like super pretty, but I do think it was prettier than average. I like the sky, the visuals, and the artwork for the poster to draw you in was well done.
To be honest, I don't even really remember the animation.
Well,
So-
it wasn't special.
It just wasn't memorable to me. And like
Mhm.
that seems kind of asshole-ish of me to say, but like I don't know,
Oh.
like this was made into a movie and I'm pretty sure it was in theaters. So
Yeah.
my overall rating is a 4. I'm just gonna say that.
Ooh, wow.
I just don't remember
see.
this movie, and
Yeah.
I just remember it being very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Yeah.
Overall rating for me, I would say I'd give it a 5. I feel like it was really average. There was nothing special, and then the twist about it left you more confused than anything. It didn't bring any closure to the story. It didn't make you feel like, oh, now I fully understand everything. It didn't like make everything you watch worthwhile, or the lackluster characters come to life. It didn't do anything. So I give it a 5. Like, it's not horrible in my opinion, because I rate everything on Fire Force. But like, it wasn't horrible. So I give it a 5.
It wasn't trash like Fire Force. I would recommend it if you're looking for something just easygoing. If you're an avid anime watcher and you're looking for that next thing that's going to be like really pulling your interest, I would not recommend it because it just wasn't. If you're just casually watching something, it's enjoyable.
I would not recommend it. I don't even think you need to casually enjoy this. It just was boring. Like, I give it a 5. It was interesting, but like,
I love how you give it a 5 and I give it a 4, and then you're like, yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Because like, I feel that there are other things that you could spend your time on, like a silent voice. Even Your Name was a little bit more interested in than this. So
yeah, and Nikita knows I do not like Makoto Shinkai, and I probably watch Makoto Shinkai over this. I probably would.
I wouldn't recommend. Skip.
Oh,
Save your time.
yeah. I mean, that's true. Maybe I should say skip it. No, I'll keep my response.
So if you like more videos like this, definitely hit that like button. We truly appreciate it. It will help us fortify, and hopefully we will no longer be inverted. So definitely click this next video if you want to see more.